Hello everyone, welcome to another video. This video is going to be a tutorial on how to properly edit your stitch fiddle graph. So if you are into tapestry crochet, then you know that it is sometimes difficult to get the perfect graph. Here are some examples of really pretty graphs that I have found on Pinterest and braceletbook.com. You see how every single one of these graphs has a really bold outline. The picture seems really simple. Everything is clear and there's no kind of shading issues. So this is the inspiration and the kind of goal that I set out for when I make my own graphs on Stitch Fiddle. Now, Stitch Fiddle is not great, guys. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't prefer the app, but it's literally the only thing we have. It seems that people are gatekeeping because whenever I try to find out how people make these really pretty clear graphs, nobody really says anything. Like there's certain apps that I get suggested, and then when I go on those apps or websites, I'm just confused. So until I find a better app or website, I will just be using Stitch Fiddle, and I'm going to show you guys my step-by-step process on how I make my own graphs. I am currently making a Winx Club graph 2, and that looks really good so far. So I think I'm improving, and I think I have enough skills to make this tutorial. Feel free to give your own tips in the comments below, and without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so the first step is to, of course, go on the Stitch Fiddle website, www.stitchfiddle.com, and then you're going to press on Crochet Color Work. Then this is going to pop up. It's going to basically ask you to choose the kind of yarn you want. I always choose no preference. And then you're going to choose from picture, and this is where you're going to drop your picture into Stitch Fiddle. So here's my design. So this is going to be your saved design, the picture that you want to turn into a graph. It is best to get a clear picture, something that is very simple. It doesn't have a complicated background. You see how this one is just a white background. The less colors, the better for Stitch Fiddle, guys. Then, as you saw, I just pressed exact size. Do not forget to press exact size, guys. That allows you to change the width as I'm changing here. So why are we changing the width? Because this needs to fit your body properly, right? So depending on the calculations that you've made, like with your gauge swatch, this is why I'm changing the width. Now, as you can see, the more narrow that I go, the less clear the picture is, right? So you have to play around with the width and the height to try and get the clearest picture that you can. So I'm going to lower my height just because I don't want the wand to take up the whole front panel. You know what I mean? Because I still want to have room for a pocket. The width of my cardigan needs to be 45 stitches, but I put it even less because, like I said, I want to make it as small as possible while still fitting in with my measurement. You have to keep in mind, like, how is this going to look when it's finished? How is it going to look as a real crochet tangible piece? Always have that question in your head when you're making the graph, because the way that it looks on Stitch Fiddle is going to be very similar to how it looks in person. So imagine if I just press OK with the graph that you're seeing here. This would be terrible. Now you can also change the brightness and the contrast as you're seeing, and you can also lower the amount of colors. This is actually probably one of the first things that you should do. I find that I tend to only use the brightness and contrast toggle options when the picture that I'm editing is black and white, like has some kind of grayish filter. But for this picture, it doesn't really make a difference since it's so simple. Now back to the colors. This wand is very simple. It does not need 20 colors, but Stitch Fiddle automatically makes that the default. So just lower the amount of colors. Stitch Fiddle is just silly. Now, also, do not get so harped up on the way it looks before you save the chart, because I promise you, most of the editing is done after you save the chart. This is where people also kind of like start worrying, like, save the chart and then do the editing if it's so difficult. So right now, for example, I'm somewhat happy with the way it looks. I think I'm thinking about the outlines and the colors. Like, do I need to save this with the black, or should I just add the black outline at the very end? Like, this looks much easier to work with versus the other one. I'm also thinking like there's enough of the top of the wand where it's not that cut off, and I could draw it in more. You know how the like previously the wand was somewhat more cut off. I couldn't even see the top, so that would be harder to edit. So this one looks good. So now I'm going to save it as 39 stitches in the width, 90 rows, and I'm going to press save chart. And here we go. We have a quite ugly graph to work with as our front panel, but listen, it's going to turn out nice because this is where the real editing comes. So first I'm going to merge one of the colors with the yellow color because the wand is yellow. I don't need that orange. See how I've just made my life a bit more simpler just by taking one color out. If you need to refer to your original picture, then go ahead and refer to it. You're just trying to make it look as close to the picture as you want, right? As you need. So I'm just going down around the bottom of this wand, trying to make things more equal. Symmetry is extremely important with pixel grids, is what I've learned. Guys, remember that I'm not a professional with pixel grid alpha patterns. You can actually go and look up how to do pixel art, but just get ready to hear the most insane, detailed terminology that you probably, haven't heard of because it's pixel art. It's an art form, right? So it's like learning a new hobby. So I am just teaching you this as somebody with no experience or history with pixel art, just a different perspective. So here I'm doing this bold outline. This is the key to having that kind of cartoonish pixel grid look, that the graphs that I showed you earlier. I will end up changing the gray to black. I just, couldn't be bothered at this point in time. So I'm just trying to get it as bold as possible and just trying to make it look like the wand. Now, the graphs on Stitch Fiddle, you see how the grid is, every bold line is 10 stitches. So every kind of big square, that's 10 stitches. So 10, 20, 30, 40. You can see there's around four. No, there's 39, right? I think there's 39 right now. So it just helps you with the maths because, as we know, crochet is all about math. So one of the best tips that I could give you when you're editing your stitch fiddle graph is to try and make everything symmetrical, especially when you have straight lines like how this wand, how I'm showing you. So if there's 4 boxes on the left of the middle line, then there should be 4 boxes on the right too. Now, this doesn't always apply because it depends on your graph, but if you want to make anything that is like boxed, circle, straight line, anything that has like a clear definitive shape, then definitely use the lines in Stitch Fiddle to help you make everything as symmetrical as possible. So here is an example of what I'm saying. So this is the panel that I used for my Sailor Moon cardigan. I used the line in the middle of the graph to help me make sure that each side was symmetrical. So if you do one side and you're like, okay, how do I do the other? Literally just copy what you did on the left to the right. Now you can also go ahead and change any color you want by pressing the paint box, then the color, press color, and change it to whatever color you want. So I've just changed it to black. And now I'm going to just finish outlining basically the border of this wand with that same black color. So this is where a lot of trial and error comes, guys. This took me at least an hour-ish, hour and a half maybe, to fully just finish this graph. You have to play around and just draw, make mistakes, take out the mistakes. You see how I did like a line and then now I'm going back with the white to kind of shaping it out. This is where it's just better shown than explained. Like it's hard to explain, but you can kind of see what I'm doing, right? Like I'm trying to outline and bolden this moon as much as I can whilst not making it too thin. So I'm going to stop talking just for a few minutes so you can just basically see what I'm doing. I'll speed it up a little bit, and when I feel like I need to talk, I'll come back and say something. So every now and then, I always make sure to kind of zoom out so that I can get a better look at how my graph is going to look. The panel, like that's the best way to see, like, okay, is this going right? Is this looking okay? Look away from the screen and then look back at the screen when you've zoomed out, and it resets your perspective, your eyesight, I promise. So remember how I said my panel needs to be 45 stitches. Right now it's 39, so I'm just going to add a column to the right. So now it's at 40, and then I'm going to add another column to the left, basically just making sure that each column added to the left and right is equal as possible. It does not have to be perfect, guys. We are not robots, right? This is handmade. It's okay. So I've added my rows, so it's now 45. I'm also going to change the yellow so that it's brighter because that is closer to the yarn I have on hand. And my panel does need to be way longer, so I'm now going to add as many rows to get to 150. So you see how I didn't need to decide everything right before saving the chart. Like, a lot of the editing is done afterwards. Now, because of that, I'm just going to, clear up the very end of the wand as much as I can. Now I'm just taking a look at it again, always zooming out, zooming in. And of course, I don't want my background to be white. I want it to be pink or purple. I think I changed it to purple and then I changed it back to pink for this video, but change it to whatever color you want. Now the wand doesn't look great, guys. I can't even lie. I'm zooming out and I'm like, it looks like someone took a bite out of it. Now I fixed that up at the end, but for now I'm going to show you that you could also add rows on top. By the way, guys, this is all the free version. Like, nothing here is paid. Everything that I've shown you is what you can do for free on stitchfiddle. It allows you to have up to 15 graphs for free, and it allows you to make all of these edits for free too. So at this point, I am going to show you guys how I do that circle ball in the middle. Is actually probably the easiest part. Now, guys, don't be afraid to look stuff up to help you out. All I did was look up circle pixel grid, I'm pretty sure, and I just looked that up on Google. A bunch of circles will come up. You just need to choose the right one that fits in with your graph. Some were too small, some were too big. This is the one that I decided is good enough, and all I did was just plot it so that the ball fits right in the middle and it doesn't, overlap with the design already. Now, at this point, I'm just having fun plotting in my little stars everywhere. I have memorized how to do these, but you can look up like star pixel grid too. Literally, it's just like a cross, and it's also just math as well, like 1, 3, 5, 7, and then 5, 3, 1. For the details of the wand, I just went in with the colors of my picture and tried to make little squares or balls, like mini balls. Oh my gosh, I'm saying balls way too much. Okay, I had to take my microphone out because it is dead. So sorry about the audio change, but anyway, guys, at this point, there's not much else I want to show you. I think that I'm just going to show you basically how I did the wand. I'm going to speed it up a bit, but the symmetry thing is really important. Like, that's what helped me the most. Just try to make everything equal on each side and then zoom out, look at it, zoom in again, fix some stuff up. Does that look right? Does that look okay? What can I change? It's trial and error for me. Everything is trial and error. Practice truly does make perfect, especially with this tapestry crochet and graphs, pixel art, stuff like that. You will definitely improve over time, so don't sweat it. It's frustrating at first, but keep going and you'll get better. Please let me know if you have more questions in the comments below. Also, let me know what you want to see, like what kind of tutorials you would like to see from me, and I will try to get on to them as well. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.